Guys, there's new news on the update. So, if you haven't heard the news, there's been a Bloxford bulletin board going around, and it's been having news about the update and stuff. So I kind of late on this. I didn't really see Kid Gaming video on it, but I watched for like 5 minutes. But then I said I'll just read it later. So we're gonna be doing that in this video. So yeah, let's go check that out. So as you can see, we have a lot of news about everything. I do believe it starts at number 7, so we're gonna be checking out 7 through 11 because I don't want to waste your guys' time. So this first part doesn't really talk about anything. This is number 7, but it just talks about how the Tiki Outpost used to be like a really fun place and for children and stuff until like it became really cold and icy clouds and icy winds came, and then everybody stopped visiting, and people say it was the Leviathan's fault, but now the Eagle Tyrant. But now, because the Eagle Tyrant is defeated, hope stirs again. But instead, because that was the last update, we're going to be talking about Ranger's Food Report, Food as a Ritual, which seems to be, him eating food and restoring his health. So, as you've heard, you probably watched other people's videos on it. I mean, my videos aren't anything special. So, there are crafted simple meals, as you can see. So, the lore explanation is that a camper was walking around, and he found a campfire with food on it. But it says there's fish. So, I'm assuming, because there's fishing, that you're going to be able to, like, take that fish, take, other stuff, maybe conjured cocoa, that you get from these guys. Now, if we kill them real quick, there is a small chance that we get conjured cocoa. Of course, we're not going to get it, because it is a pretty rare drop. But I can imagine, I should have some conjured cocoa in my, why did I click on love? I should have some conjured cocoa in here. Yep, 13. I was grinding earlier, so let's just say there's a campfire right here. I can imagine we fish in the river, and then we could put maybe conjured cocoa. Probably not, but just put a bunch of ingredients. And if we go back to the bulletin board, it shows a picture of him eating and healing. If we go to his little quote, I swear I felt the soreness lift after just a few bites, he said. It was like my body knew I earned it. Best meal I ever made, and I didn't even use salt. Crazy, right? So, that probably going to be kind of like a quick little heal, kind of like a regeneration potion in Minecraft. And the park staff took notice. Other campers have been experimenting with cooking blends. So I'm assuming that, it's gonna kind of be like fruits. I guess you could maybe, chop up fruits, I guess, and put it in there for, like, different effect. Doubt it, though. So, I'm assuming that it's gonna kind of be like, example, Blox Fruits started with a bunch of fruits, but didn't start with that many, but now we've got fruits like Dragon and Kitsune, but, we started out with just like, simple stuff, like, well, this was Door, but you get the premise. We started off with Buddha whenever it was, Buddha started off with ice, but still. I'm assuming that, they'll slowly add more things, like maybe, like, they could do, like, again, in Minecraft, there's, like, splash potions, so you can, like, throw, like, a potion of, example, Icy Unawakened move, it freezes them, so you could throw a potion of freezing at them, so there could be, like, a Leviathan kind of fish. Like, Leviathan's known for freezing. It basically has the ice fruit, and that's why, again, they say that Tiki has, so you could cook with an ice fruit. There could be like a fish. They could do something like that. Or, anywho. And then there's the poll, which I will be filling out in a second. So let me just quickly, go ahead and fill. Go ahead and fill all of this out real quick. Just. Now on to the Bloxford Bulletin number 8. The Bloxford Bulletin. Sorry, probably been calling it Bulletin for a while. Anyhow. Attackers unleash devastating attack during rest. So, I watched Kid's Gaming video on this for like a second. I didn't watch it all, so I really have no idea what's going on. But, as Kid Gaming said, it's the bomb fruit. And, as he said, I don't own perm bomb, don't judge me. As he said, it's the landmine move, because it does say in there that he was getting arrested, so he was probably in cuffs, but he still did damage. Example, how that does damage whenever you walk on him. You don't have to do anything for it. Now, the rest of this just really says, what was happening, how, it was a popcorn dealer in the Fire Village, and, what happened there. But then there's the rest of it. And then it continues going on about how the UI VRAMP just, quote, didn't feel like blocks fruits. And, and now on to blocks for bulletin number 9. Talks about this journal that I think they've been hyping up for a while. A life edged in pages. So, yeah. Talks about how the book appears to be, from a biographer who records stuff about, it records stuff about, like, people and what fruits they use, like, stuff like that. Which sorry, I'm kind of screwing up here, but I'm sorry, I'll get back to the bulletin. As you can see here, we got Asking the Developers Part 4. Ripindra's doing something, and I forget his name, Redhead. And anywho, he's drinking out of God's chalice. They're just, ask the developers. I really do wish I asked them about this, but they wouldn't have, And then there's news about the Sharkman Karate. Again, I haven't, read most of this, so this is kind of like my first time reading this. Then there's something about skate parks, which it talks about, how there's, like, it's, like, really dried up. There hasn't been rain recently. So, yeah. Next part talks about how I'm assuming that this guy's getting an upgrade because, like, if we go back to blox fruits, this guy has, example, if I were to go up to him and talk about my sword, it says, right, if I just follow right here, it says grade 1. So, I'm assuming that there's going to be either more grades or something to where, just, like an overall revamp, because don't get me wrong, the damage is amazing on it. Like, it gets extra damage, which is kind of crucial for some PvP fights. But it does, honestly, really need a revamp. Now, the next one, bulletin number 10, talks about the big 50 billion summer expansion. I was really hoping that they'd bring back that one event for whenever they got that many visitors. I was really hoping that. But they didn't. But they are talking about this. Now, if, we just kind of start reading it, Bloxfruit has set sail to launch its most ambitious plans yet. In the celebration of this incredible milestone of 50 billion visits, we're introducing a brand new update format. So basically it kind of talks about, how there's going to be weekly updates instead, which I'm kind of scared about, because my goal is to 100% the game. If they just keep doing stuff like this, I'm never going to reach up, because I still have a lot to do. But in late July, and I don't really know what time it currently is, but what I do know is that there's going to be these 3 fruits. Now, I did watch a little bit of Kid Gaming's video on this. He said rubber, pain, and smoke, I think it was. It was a while ago. I watched it. Well, when I think it was like 2 days after it came out. Anywho, because that does make sense. There's, I'm pretty sure these are reworks, but there's, like, only 2 purple fruits in the game, pink, purple, blah, 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 pain, and rubber. But, okay, I stand corrected. Actually, they do say there's going to do a limited time event, actually, so I am happy for that. I can get some limited stuff there, which is nice. Back to the fruits. I really do hope it is a pain and rubber update, because, I know they said they're trying to stray away from blocks fruit, or from One Piece, but they need to add a Nika Nika no Mi fruit, which is the Gum Gum fruit, which they do have the rubber fruit, but, like an awakening or something. They did say they're doing, like, no more awakenings, though, which does kind of suck. But now we're back to this, the journal, which it did kind of confirm that, about this journal. So they're going to be adding stats like blocks fruit, what gun they use, what sword they use, what fighting style they use, I'm assuming, and what their stats are, which is going to be kind of scary because, and I'm kind of concerned on what that is. Which is going to be kind of cool with, what they can see what crew there is, but it's going to be kind of scary. And then the next part talking about how the lake has filled up and they're catching fish. So, lore, blah, blah, blah. I don't know if they're adding lore implications to it, though, because it gives more of a, variety to it. I really just kind of like it. But enough of what I feel about, or what I like. We're going to move on to the final, sadly, last Blocks for Bulletin, number 11. So, I'm pretty sure he's in the sloop right there, I think it's called. Or whatever it's called. You know what I'm talking about, the bad ship. Anywho, bad ship, I sounded like I said something else. Sorry for stuttering a lot on this, and, saying, just kind of having a stroke throughout it. I'm trying to do good. Anywho, underwater Tiki, right? The chief of the Tiki Outpost has been talking about how I found an island under Tiki Outpost, because I don't think they're done with Tiki. You know, they're just trying to do a lot more. But they found a special kind of fish race. So I'm assuming that the Fishman race may get a rework. Again, I don't know if any other YouTubers have said this before. Don't judge me if I've said the same thing as them. I haven't watched their videos on it. I've watched Kids Gaming video for like 5 minutes. Underwater. See, the submarine's right there, so we're going to be taking the submarine down there. Duh. But, you know, the mass guys, which is going to be kind of cool. Maybe that's probably the enemies, I'm assuming. Or maybe, again, Fishman V2. Next part, gone fishing. There's that, you know, that kind of looks like, that could be like a Leviathan fish where you, like, throw potions at him. Like, an electric kind of gives them, like, the V4 from Cyborg kind of thing, where it, like, screws with their, the dodging capabilities. Instinct, that's what it's called. So, and since it's available to all all players alike, that's going to be nice, because my friends have been complaining about the grinding. I haven't, you know, I've said, hey, dude, just deal with it, but I've gotten, like, other accounts, like, I've been trying to level them up. I see what they mean. 30 new fish are being introduced, which, again, I really do hope they have, like, you know, attacking fish to where, like, you put them in, like, a potion or something. Or, like, you know, something, and, like, you can attack them. You can, like, attack them. Because, you know, like, I'm pretty sure they said something about potions. Right? Yeah, speaking of which. So, you know. There. Potions being added, and I'm assuming there may be, like, you know, you could put, like, food. The food may, like, be ingredients of the potion. Or the barista may be able to be making the potions. Because as you can see, there's, like, whiskey bottles, I'm assuming. You know, stuff like that, just on the walls. If I go up to talk to them, you just, you know, you can get your aura, you can get your dragon skins. I mean, I have, you know, these, but you could get berries. I haven't really thought, like, you know, because berries, like, could go into the food. Fruits can go into the food. But I'm assuming berries now, kind of. So, that's my thoughts on the blox-bulletin boards and stuff. Thank you for watching. If you did, I think this is more of a shorter video, like 10 minutes long, I'm assuming. Sorry again for stuttering and stuff like this. I'm sorry I didn't, you know. But thank you for watching. This is so far really cool. I probably will do some update videos if there's new stuff going out. But I hope you join my lives. We're going to be maxing out the stuff that never comes out. Anywho, thank you for watching. Goodbye.